Can I just say what a wonderful evening. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you, Natalie, for giving me the opportunity to talk about my favourite topic, which is dancing for brain power. But I've only got actually less than 7 minutes. So I need to make it snappy. But I don't just want to talk about it. I actually want you to experience it. So I'm going to invite you to stand up. And very, very quickly, we're going to do a movement and rhythm exercise. Me first, and then you. So listen carefully, I shall do this only once. Boom, snap, clap, ba-boom, snap, clap, snap. You go. Boom, snap, clap, ba-boom, snap, clap, snap. Second half, boom, snap, clap, ba-boom, snap, shh. Boom, snap, clap, ba-boom, snap, shh. A 1, a 2. We put it all together and boom, snap, clap, ba-boom, snap, clap, snap. Boom, snap, clap, ba-boom, snap, shh. And you can all sit down. Thank you very, very much. Varying degrees of success across the auditorium, much like perhaps your classes. But the important thing is, hopefully, in front of me now, I've got a more alert and attentive audience. And that's because, number one, I asked you to stand up. So already we're bringing into the body lots more oxygen. We've stopped the blood pooling in our feet. And then I got you to do a really complex and rhythmic movement pattern. And once you start doing that, you actually start building new neural pathways in your brain. So movement is not just for your body. It's actually brain food. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. When you think about innovation, and it's interesting and very clever to put me right off to Google and lots of presentations about technology, because I guess that's what we all think about. And it's true, our children, our young children, are accessing technology at earlier and earlier ages. And obviously with technology comes technological innovation. So I want you to have a look at this slide, and I'm going to ask you to do a very quick survey, okay? If you look at this slide and think, oh my goodness, where can I get one? That's going to save me hours of housework. I want you to do this. And if you're looking at that slide with some degree of reservation, I want you to do this. This doesn't count, by the way, okay? Make a decision, 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, so first of all, I'm scanning the room, and for a few seconds, I can tell what each one of you are thinking. It's a really, really good strategy for classroom teaching, and I know there was an example of that earlier, so do bear that in mind. Secondly, I am really comforted by the fact, but not necessarily surprised, that in a room full of educators, you do have some reservations about this, and you would be right to, because our children with a lack of optimal movement experiences are expressing motor deficits, and of course movement is the core of childhood development, and it's having a direct influence on their academic attainment. So I'm going to share with you some statistics. Okay, in 2005 in the UK, 48% of children in reception class were found to have motor deficits that directly affect their learning potential. In 2012, a Scandinavian study found a similar figure in year 1 and 2 students. In 2015, oops, what happened there? In 2015, I wrote a blog about how children, through a dance movement program, innovation, can improve their school readiness. And you can see 2016, that figure by a current study is purported to be 90%. That means, not surprisingly, in the same study, that 80% of teachers are now recognising these deficits. It'd be hard to ignore, wouldn't it? Okay, so here's the innovation. It's dancing science. I am a qualified dance scientist. I haven't got time to go into exactly what that entails, but I have developed an innovative dance movement program called the Developmental Dance Movement Program. It is an interface between movement science, educational theory, and neuroscience. I know that I can stand here confidently in front of you and say that this learning strategy is appropriate and beneficial for all children, because not only have I shared with you some of the movement research, but we are contributing as an organisation our own research. All right, so not only is it improving neurological function, but it is also embedded and enriched by core curriculum. So we're moving and learning at the same time. And of course, dance is a fun, interactive activity by nature. So we're improving social skills and communication, both verbal and non-verbal. And I'll go into that a little bit more in a minute. We've been very busy. I'm going to be talking at the Test SEN show on Saturday, 3:30, for anybody who wants to come along. I'm going to be talking about this particular approach being a fully inclusive model. You can see there the National Autistic Society have been sharing my research on an international platform, and our new partnership with Greenwich University is looking at the impact of this approach for children on the autistic spectrum. I haven't got a lot of time to share with you all of the underpinning, but Montessori is one of them because it's education through movement, a real fluid movement environment. There isn't any research pointing to sitting being the best approach for learning. In fact, a new study in the New York Times today said that movement, people who move often tend to have sturdier memories and cognitive skills than their sedentary counterparts. This is the area of embodied cognition. Guy Claxton might be a familiar name to you. He has just published a book called Intelligence in the Flesh. It's all about embodied cognition. And Emily Cross, a researcher based in Bangor University, is using dance as the primary tool to look at the impact of neurons on our capacity and our cognitive capacity. I would encourage you, if you haven't seen it, to watch one of my colleagues' TED Talks, Mike Kuczala. He has developed a 7-step framework for using movement in the classroom, and right on the top of the pyramid is moving and learning at the same time, which is what the developmental dance movement does. We have an analytical framework of our own, and we are taking the analytical framework that already exists from a dance background bang into the 21st century. It takes both sides of the brain to dance, but I don't just want you to take my word for it. I want you to stand up again for me. And this time, you're going to do the choreography, okay? So I'd like a volunteer to give me a swimming stroke. Any swimming stroke, please. Fantastic. Front crawl. Let's do front crawl. Okay, now let's do breaststrokes. Somebody shouted it here. Fantastic. All right, so far. Now I want you to do one front crawl and one breaststroke. Oh, hang on, problems already. Now I want you to do that and change sides. And now I want you to step across at the same time. Okay, fantastic, well done. Now you can sit down. Thank you very much. What we've actually been doing is strengthening the corpus callosum, the bridge that goes across from the right hemisphere to the left hemisphere. This is how we get full executive functionality. This is how we get higher order thinking. This is science. What our children crave, particularly in the early years, is flesh and blood, concrete, creative experiences that support grounding in the hippocampus, which is where our memory is based. I would love to have more than 7 minutes with you. I am doing a CPD course that involves 7 hours of CPD training, going really deep into the neuroscience, really deep into the educational theory. I know that it's been part of a daily deal, so do look out for it if it comes up again. Thank you so much for listening. References, if you want them, do get in touch with us. Thank you.